girl. Forgot my skim milk. Okay. Skim. Come on. He's reluctant this morning.
To do that is drink raw milk and eat raw cheese, but there's also the wonderful, delicious ways of eating raw meat. I tell you, it just perks you right up. I mix it with raw egg yolk and onions and spices, and
The SAD diet is the only one that doesn't have a ferment in it.
that's exactly right. Everything is treated
Thank you. Oh, I don't want to jet those puppies. Come on. You helping in the garden? You helping in the garden today? Are you playing the only child? Good morning, everyone. So, I totally got absolutely drenched today. I used the same hose to water the chickens, the cows, and then to plug the sprinkler up. And I was going to plug the sprinkler up and had a bug land on my face and let go of the kink on my hose. And, well, I got drenched. So the kids are at Grant's today. So we're gonna just do some maintenance work and a couple projects, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. So let's do this. Hi, little friend. How are you? Hello. I think the kids want to name this one Beethoven. Can you say hi, Beethoven? All right, so project number 1. Tim has the baby down for a nap, so I have some sages that need to be planted. I am trying to plant abundant amounts of sage this year with us having lots of sausage. And one of my sausage mixes that I've kind of put together has lots of sage in it. So trying to grow lots of my own sage for our sausage mixes. Okay, so the other 2 sages I'm going to plant out here in this raised bed. This is in front of our deck. And I've got like perennial thyme and oregano. And then over there I have some mint that's actually coming back. I weeded this some this year, but I need to do some more. But I'm going to go ahead and get these sages in the ground in here. All right, happy sage. So we take the weeds from the different areas, raised beds and stuff, and we throw them to the chickens. And the chickens turn it into compost. They eat what bugs they find. Some of the herbs were actually in that. So there's some medicinal properties for different herbs. It's a concept that's kind of based in what's called permaculture, where everything works together. So the garden feeds the chickens turn it into compost, and then the chickens feed the garden. And so that's kind of loosely what we do. We try to make everything work together around here. So yeah, chickens got a treat after emptying out this bed. And it looks a lot better. So I've got, like I said, some, I think this is spearmint, oregano, thyme down there, and then sage. And all of these are perennials in our region. And so hopefully they'll come back. This oregano and the thyme and the spearmint have been here 4 years now. And so they've been very, very prolific for me, which has been awesome. I had some sage in here a while back, but it didn't survive one of the winters. So we'll see if it comes back. If not, we'll just replant seed. I want to get this weed eated down and make it look real nice. So I think today I'm going to go ahead and do a batch of oregano in the dehydrator. Dehydrating herbs isn't necessarily the best way to preserve them for flavor and things, but I have a dehydrator and I have herbs, and so even if it's just a portion of the nutrition and the flavor, it's something. So we're gonna get some of this picked and get it in the dehydrator while we work on a couple other projects. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? You're silly. There, hi. How are you? You digging in the dirt? I think I may have just interrupted a potty break, actually. Sorry, cat. All right, we got a pretty lovely basket of oregano. Let's go throw this in the dehydrator. Okay, so got all 4 trays loaded. I would say one of the hardest parts about herbs on this particular dehydrator is finding leaves big enough not to fall through the cracks, because even a little bit, because they're dehydrating, so they're all going to shrink a little bit, and so some will fall through the cracks. But get that going, and it's gonna smell like a pizzeria in here in a little bit. Okay, the next thing that I want to get done before it gets super hot is Tim mowed the backyard for me yesterday and bagged all the grass, and so having issues. Okay, so I want to get that grass and get it so that I can mulch my tomatoes. I'm noticing that my tomatoes, the rows that they're in, they're drying out really fast right now. So I'm hoping that mulching these guys really good will help them maintain their moisture and hopefully help them perk up a little more than what they're doing right now, because they kind of look a little sad. And then I may get some feed for them to just kind of give them a little oomph. Okay, so that wheelbarrow load of grass got me about halfway done on that row. I will say, if you use grass clippings for mulching your garden, make sure you don't leave it sitting in like a wheelbarrow for very long, because what happens is it starts to get really hot and it's slimy, and then it starts to mold if you leave it sitting for very long. I don't particularly care to leave mine sitting at all. I like to get it on the garden and not piled up in a big lump to give that bottom the opportunity to get moldy. So I try to get it in as quick as possible. I just didn't quite get to this yesterday. So like 12 hours, 24 hours max. And if it starts to mold, then don't use it, because you don't want to potentially spread stuff to your plants. That would be sad. So got that done. Now to see what's next. All right, so we are getting into fly season here. And last year, Gail had almost no flies on her at all, but this year they're just all over her. So I'm gonna do two different things. We use a natural fly spray that I make out of oils and apple cider vinegar. So I'm gonna mix that up, but I'm gonna use two different types of fly traps outside to try and just ease some of the fly burden in our property. The first one I'm going to use cautiously. I don't want like any of the animals to get this caught on them, so I'm going to actually hang one of these up in the pole barn. They're the fly ribbon strips, just to try to catch anything while I'm milking that may be on her. I noticed this morning she kicked a lot, but there were a couple on her that probably kept biting her, so I'm wondering if she was kicking at the flies, not at me. And then the second one I'm going to use is this kind of fly trap. There's mixed reviews on it. Last year we used it with a lot of success. Now, the biggest issue we had with these, you bait them with something. And I used both like a fruit bait and a spoiled meat broth bait. The problem I had was not with the flies being caught. It was with Mo, my Pyrenees, getting the bait. So I'm having to be strategic in placing these somewhere where they're close to her, but that she can't get to or the dog can't get to. So we're gonna work on that now, and then that should be about it for the day. All right, so the first task is to actually find my shepherd's hooks. I know where I had them last year, but I know that the boys have been playing with them this year, so on the hunt to find them. So last year I had one down here by this apple tree, and like I mentioned, Mo, gross as it is, very much liked the rotten meat bait that I had in it. Okay, all right, here is one. And I just like these shepherd's hooks because I can move them. I can put them where I want. And so I think right now I'm gonna actually put this in the corner of the lower garden because it's somewhat close to her, but there's a fence around it, so Mo can't get to it. And so we'll put one in there, and then I'll try to figure out where I'm gonna put the other one. All right, I think I'm gonna put it down here because the kids like to play with things, but they don't come around this corner very often. So I think it'll be a place where hopefully they won't mess with it. We'll see. One of my concerns with this kind of trap is catching like beneficial pollinators. And last year I used these 4 different places, and I only caught 1 yellow jacket, 1 hornet, and 1 would-be, like all summer long. So I thought that was pretty good. I didn't catch any honeybees, and I think that's in part because I used more of a meat-based bait instead of like a sweet honey pollen bait like a honeybee would want. So and so that minimized my effect on the beneficial pollinators while still getting rid of the flies, which I was really, really thankful for. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those other 2 hung up, and then hopefully we'll start eliminating some of the flies. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys are enjoying your spring and are getting to spend some time outside every day, whether that's after work or in the mornings or whatever. So thanks again for hanging out with me. Talk to you later.